Lori Heimer was a 57-year-old woman living on a farm in Azaria, Kansas with her husband. Lori owned a dog breeding business at her home named Lori's Poodle Patch. She bred poodles, Yorkies, and golden retrievers and would also breed designer dogs like golden doodles and Yorkie poos. Lori had 2 kennels for the dogs and another enclosed area for the puppies. Lori was described by her family as loving, helpful, and someone who never knew a stranger. She could talk to anyone, and they would instantly become friends with her. Lori was known to advertise her breeding business throughout Kansas as well as Oklahoma and Colorado. She also had a Facebook business account listing prices of puppies as well as their descriptions. On June 25th, Lori's husband, Ronald Heimer, went for wheat harvesting on their 80-acre farm. Lori was home alone. Her husband later said Lori had an appointment with a man that day to show him a puppy. It is unclear if she met with the man or not. After her appointment, Lori was scheduled to attend a barbecue, but she never made it. Later that day, Lori's daughter Katie Eberly, along with her husband, visited her and found Lori's body inside her home around 7:30 p.m. Not much information about the murder has been released to the public, although most sources label the murder as brutal. The family stated that they had seen blood on the floor as well as on the walls. Robbery does not appear to be a motive, as everything in the house was in place and accounted for. Lori had about 50 dogs and puppies at the farm, and it is unclear if any were taken, as Lori was the sole owner and manager of the dog business, and no one in the family knows how many dogs she had prior to her murder. During their investigation, witnesses told police that there had been 2 vehicles in the vicinity of Lori's home around the time she was murdered. One of the vehicles was an older flatbed pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet, which is described as beat up. The truck was maroon in color with a white front bumper, silver grille, and wide-style side mirrors. The driver was described as a man who was 50 years of age or older, with salt and pepper hair. The other vehicle was described as an older style small pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet S10 that was two-tone blue with dark blue on top and light blue at the bottom. The vehicle had a newer tailgate that appeared to have minimal damage when compared to the rest of the body of the truck. There may have been 2 animal cages or crates in the back. The driver of the second vehicle was described as a white male, approximately 40 years of age, with shoulder-length hair and wearing glasses. The vehicles or its drivers have yet to be identified. Investigators are looking for the 2 vehicles and would like to speak to the drivers. It is also worth noting that a man had shown up unannounced at Lori's home about a week before her murder. Lori had asked the man to schedule an appointment. It is unknown if Lori was meeting the same man on the day of the murder. There has been no arrests in the case and it remains unsolved. A reward of $36,000 is currently being offered for any information that could lead to an arrest or conviction in the case. Sharon Drover was a 17-year-old girl living in Livingstone Street in downtown St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. Sharon and her sister Teresa were born into poverty and were taken into foster care when they were little. When Sharon turned 16, she moved out of her foster home in Kelly Grove and moved into a boarding house in Livingstone Street in downtown St. John's. She took a job at a McDonald's store on Kenmount Road. On December 28, 1978, Sharon left her boarding house for her 5 p.m. shift at the McDonald's. McDonald's was 4 kilometers from her home. She arrived at her workplace and collected her paycheck. She completed her shift at 2 a.m. and walked to her home. No one knows what happened to her after that. It is believed she had intended to hitchhike home. Sharon had been staying at the boarding house with her boyfriend, Victor. However, she had not told her family about her relationship. Her sister Teresa learned about the relationship after her disappearance. Sharon was reported missing 46 days after she was last seen, when her family could not get a hold of her. Police launched a search for her, but no trace of her could be found. Later, the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary would receive 2 anonymous calls stating that Sharon Drover was dead. One of the callers said that they had seen a body being taken from a tractor-trailer truck near McDonald's on Topsail Road and buried somewhere near. The area was thoroughly searched. The other caller said her body was dumped off the Foxtrap access road. The area was also searched, but nothing would be found. The case would eventually grow cold. Following publicity of the case in the 1990s, 2 brothers came forward and told police that they had picked up a young girl on Kenmount Road who had been hitchhiking. The police questioned the 2 brothers, and based on the information they provided about the girl from their conversation with her, the police believed it was Sharon Drover. The brothers claimed to have dropped her off at around 2 a.m. on Longs Hill, adjacent to the apartment she was residing at. They said the woman got out of the car and spoke with some people near her apartment's front door. They believed she had a heated argument. Moments later, they saw her running south on Longs Hill. Police now suspected her remains may have been hidden beneath the concrete basement inside her apartment. They never revealed why they suspected that her body was buried in the apartment. In 1995, floorboards were removed in the Livingstone Street boarding house, but no evidence was gleaned from the search. There were many other people in the boarding house, and the police did have a suspect in the case in 1995, but they have not revealed it to the general public. They have not yet ruled out the suspect. Sharon's family believes her boyfriend may be responsible for her disappearance. However, police have questioned him several times and ruled him out as a suspect. Over the years, police have investigated a number of leads, but so far no one has been charged. Sharon or her body has never been found. Sharon would have turned 61 this year. Caitlin Denison was a 19-year-old girl living in Reno, Nevada. Caitlin was the oldest of her 2 siblings. She was described by her family as loving, friendly, and outgoing girl. She was especially close with her sister Rachel, who was 13 months younger than her. On January 9, 2018, Caitlin flew to Midland, Texas from her home in Reno, Nevada with a man who lived there. Caitlin had met this man 6 months prior in Reno. Caitlin never told her family the man's name or what he looked like. Caitlin texted Rachel on January 9th telling her that she was traveling to Texas and to not tell anyone she was going to Texas. She also told her that she would call her at 2 p.m. and to make sure she picks up her phone. At 2 p.m., Rachel was waiting for Caitlin's call. However, she did not call. The next day, Caitlin called Rachel from a Walmart in Midland. Caitlin was using the Wi-Fi of the store to call, as she did not have service on her phone. According to Rachel, Caitlin was scared and had wanted to come back home. The phone call lasted for about 2 minutes before Caitlin hung up the phone, as the man who was with her was approaching Caitlin in the same area of the store. Caitlin then sent her location and said in a text message, "This guy makes me a little scared for my life." She also stated that the man was mad because she would not let him lay a hand on her, and that she had pulled a knife on him when he touched her inappropriately. This would be the last time that Rachel would hear from her sister. Rachel tried contacting her but was unable to get a hold of her. On January 12, 1918, Rachel and her father reported Caitlin missing to the police. The police launched an investigation into the case, and soon a witness came forward and reported that they had seen Caitlin with a truck driver in Midland, Texas. Police tracked down the truck driver and questioned him. He told police that Caitlin was looking for a job as an exotic dancer and was having a hard time finding one as she had several self-harm scars. He said that she was hoping to find work in Texas. The man claimed that one night while he was sleeping, Caitlin packed up her things and left. He claimed he hasn't heard from her since. Caitlin had struggled with depression on and off and had been self-harming. At the time of her disappearance, she had been looking for a job as an exotic dancer. According to Rachel, Caitlin may have been pregnant at the time of her disappearance. Caitlin's phone has not picked up service since that day, and it hasn't been found either. Police have not been able to check airport CCTV footage as it is not known which airline Caitlin took or the flight number. The police again went to the truck driver's home to question him, but this time he was gone. The police seem to have crossed him off the list and they have not tried to locate him ever since. Police have not released the name of the truck driver seen with Caitlin, and Caitlin's family believe police are not taking the case seriously. At the time of her disappearance, Caitlin was around 5 foot 4 inches tall and weighed around 120 to 130 pounds. She was last seen wearing a fur vest over a black shirt, black leggings with braiding down the sides of the legs, and furry boots. She has a tattoo on her left knuckle of the word alien and the letter M, a tattoo on her right forearm of a Libra scale, an eye of Horus located on her wrist, 2 piercings in her nose on each side, a piercing on her bottom lip, a tongue piercing, and a Medusa piercing. She also had scars on her legs and arms. Caitlin naturally has a brown hair but had bleached it blonde. Caitlin's sister Rachel has been trying hard to find answers in her sister's disappearance. Our family have started a GoFundMe page to try and hire a private investigator and fly to Texas to rent billboard and to display ads in newspapers. Caitlin has been missing for 4 years now. The case remains open and unsolved.